No one noticed the exact moment the wind changed. That morning, the valley woke as it always did. Cold sliding between stones. Light rising slowly behind the mountains. Clean, high-altitude air, as if the world had been washed overnight. High above, at the edge of the clouds, an eagle traced wide circles with ancient confidence. She didn't fly out of need. She flew the way others breathe, to confirm her existence with every beat of her wings. Her name was spoken with respect. Not because she ruled, but because she was a reference. When smaller birds lost their way, they thought of her. When storms gathered, they thought of her. If she crosses, we can cross too. That's how stories are born. And maybe that was the first mistake, letting the story become an identity. The eagle believed in strength. Without realizing it, she also believed in invincibility. That morning, the route was simple. Cross the mountain range. Descend on the other side, where the air was warmer and hunting was easier. She had done it many times. A clean flight. No drama. Until the sky decided otherwise. A different current brushed her feathers. Soft at first, a warning. Then restless, urgent. She adjusted her wings and kept going. Turning back wasn't who she was. Later, was what smaller birds said when they were afraid. Ahead, the clouds closed like doors. The light dimmed. The wind shifted twice in seconds. Her body was pulled by forces that no longer followed logic. She could have turned back. The thought crossed her mind for a fraction of a second, and felt offensive. Turning back meant admitting the sky could defeat her. That didn't fit the story the valley told about her. Or the one she told herself. So she pushed forward. The storm was born between frozen peaks and sharp stone, where air breaks into invisible blades. The wind stopped being a path and became an attack. She beat her wings harder. Then harder again. The sky didn't yield. Instead, it answered. A vertical current rose like a fist and struck her from below. It could have lifted her, if it had been stable. It wasn't. Violent. Irregular. Her wings opened too wide. Her body twisted. There was no pride. No strategy. No bravery. Only instinct. And instinct cannot hold a storm. The fall was sharp. A dry impact against the slope. Her body slid, dragging feathers and skin across loose stone. The world turned gray. Her right wing scraped rock, and something inside broke. Not a sound. A certainty. She lay still. Not in surrender, but because her body no longer obeyed. The wind, once her ally, passed through her disordered feathers like an accusation. Cold entered where warmth had lived. Breath came short. She tried to rise. Failed. For the first time, her story had no continuation. The days that followed were a series of small, invisible humiliations, not of pride, but of flesh. Drinking required dragging herself. Eating required patience. Patience had never been her gift. An eagle on the ground is a paradox, a body made for the sky, trapped by gravity. That's when an old mountain goat appeared. Thick fur. Watchful eyes. One horn broken halfway. He stopped a few meters away and observed in silence. "You fell," he said, like someone commenting on the weather. The eagle said nothing. "The wind was strong today," he continued. "It wasn't the wind," she replied with effort. The goat tilted his head. "The wind doesn't make mistakes. It just belongs to no one." The words lingered. He left. Returned the next day. And the next. Sometimes he spoke. Sometimes he simply stayed. He brought no help. No comfort. Only presence. Days later, the eagle dragged herself to a lake at the foot of the mountain. The water was so still it looked like glass. She saw her reflection, misaligned wings, torn feathers, tired eyes. The legend was gone. A heron stood nearby, fishing. Still. Patient. "Don't you get tired of waiting?" the eagle asked. "Only when I try to be something I'm not." the heron replied. Waiting is a waste only if you believe your worth comes from what you do. The eagle said nothing. Days later, an eaglet appeared. He approached carefully, like someone nearing a broken myth. Is it you? He asked. I saw you cross the wind once. I thought you would never fall. Something cracked in her chest. The sky changes, she said. The eaglet swallowed. Then I can fall too. Yes. Then why fly? She looked at the lake. At the distorted reflection. Because flying isn't just about rising, she said. It's about learning how to return. The crows arrived days later. They laughed. Turned her fall into spectacle. She felt the old impulse to answer, and stayed still. Not from weakness. From clarity. That night, under heavy rain, the cold overcame her strength. She looked at the covered sky and whispered, I don't know who I am anymore. The goat emerged from the shadows. Or maybe, he said, you're finally finding out. This feels like loss, she replied. Sometimes, he said, it's the same thing. It depends on what you do with it. She cried then, not as a legend, but as a creature. Recovery was slow. The wing healed differently. The flight returned limited. But it returned. Her first flight was low, short, imperfect, but real. She no longer sought height. She sought balance. When she finally crossed the mountain again, she felt no shame for where she had fallen. Only gratitude. Because she understood something many learn too late. Not every fall comes to destroy you. Some come to strip away the part that confuses worth with performance. And leave behind something rarer. Resilience.